second change is on page 3 in a different section, section 7, that deals with inspections and approvals, and I've added the word accessibility as something that can be reviewed, which was a request from the seniors, I think, requested that. Also to note, I assured the seniors that Appendix K, our land use ordinance, will be amended to deal better with accessibility than it does now. In the section 12, where all the land use standards are located, we will add another standard that deals with accessibility compliance. And we'll also clarify in the table of land uses that stairs and ramps are subject to review in certain cases. And that's it for, hopefully, our final changes to Chapter 5.
Okay. First off, for the record, Mark Eastman is now present.
Sorry, soccer practice.
So we're looking at 6.1.2.
Okay.
Item number 6, underline stairs, landing, and ramps that are not for public use. And section 7 on the back page. I understand. Well, first off, do either of you have questions or concerns? You do, Mr. Keith?
No, I don't.
I do not.
Okay. Anything from the town manager?
As Jeff noted, he and I met with representatives from the Senior Resource Committee to talk to them about their concerns about that were expressed in the Alpha 1 letter from Joseph Henning, and that this proposed change, that in safety was their big concern, and stairs, landings, and ramps and railings are a priority, so that making this provision that require those to have permits and adding accessibility as a review standard, along with looking at changing Appendix K, would go a long way to address their concerns that the town take a serious look at accessibility when it's doing its permitting. And I think, and I won't speak for the ladies, but many of them are here, that this helped to address some of those concerns. Yes. Thank you.
So this would, if we give the okay and it goes before council tonight, then we'll go through a first reading, second reading.
Is that on the agenda tonight?
It's
Chapter 5?
Well, whether it's on the agenda tonight or not.
Chapter 5's on for a third reading.
It is?
Yes.
Okay.
So it could be referred out for a public hearing at the next council
Okay.
meeting.
So the question I had is under 6.1.2-6, stairs, landings, and ramps. Now we've added the words that are not for public use. In the past now, anything that, as code enforcement officer, when changes were made to commercial buildings and so forth, would you have examined it for accessibility? Or would not have been required?
Not typically, no.
Not typically. Okay. Yeah. All right, that answers that question. And then I have a question around section 7 on the back. All spec conducted by the shall be identified on the permit and may include inspections for foundations, blah, 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 fire-rated construction, accessibility. Is this for just commercial space, or is this residential and commercial?
It would be for public buildings.
Public buildings. How would I know that by reading that paragraph?
You wouldn't, but it would be, public buildings are the only type of development that are subject to the accessibility standards that the town is required to enforce.
But under section 7, this deals with public buildings. That's where I find this.
Well, note that the reference to required inspections may include And so any of these things that are listed there
Okay.
may or may not be listed on a permit as subject to inspection.
Okay. I'm just, if I go to buy a new house in town or to go sell a new house in town, you know, an FHA inspector comes in and says, oh, you don't have a handrail and you don't have this, and then he comes in, oh, by the way, you see where I'm going with this. I just, it didn't jump off the page to me that it would be for commercial.
Well, there, in
Non-residential.
addition to the requirements for things like handrails
Yeah.
under accessibility regulations, we also have a requirement for handrails under the life safety code.
Yeah.
And that's a code that's been adopted by the town,
Okay,
and it's been enforced by the town for several years. So
Yeah.
we do look at things like that, like handrails, for example, and proper
Yeah.
tread dimensions and things like that under the life safety code for every type of structure.
okay. That's all I had. I guess, any additional comment?
No.
Everyone okay with the changes?
Yeah, sure.
You wanted to make a motion to move this forward to the council for
Approval?
adoption?
So moved. Second.
Okay. All in favor? All opposed? That was the only item on the agenda.
I just asked a question for clarification. Tonight, the third reading will be focusing on these last-minute changes only?
Yes.
Okay.
It's my understanding, Jeff, that this was the point of contention, contention may be the wrong word. This was the section that caused the entire comment on this proposed changes, and that the rest of Chapter 5 had been reviewed and moved forward anyway.
Okay.
So, did I get that right, ladies? Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Yep.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Good to see you. Sorry I was late. Well, you went fast.
Huh? Well, we were informed that they start recording now at 1 minute before the clock strikes whatever, so we,
And you can't manually, you can manually change the end, but you can't manually change the start. And so every meeting that we start, that's scheduled, has to start, it starts recording us 1 minute. So if we're hanging, or if you're still finishing one, you're going to see the end of one and the beginning
I see.
of another. So we have to be
Yeah.
on our time.